I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. The surest road to financial success and independence is pretty much a long one. And that long path includes working hard at a career that hopefully you love and enjoy, living on much less than you earn, taking educated and appropriate risks, and building wealth gradually through diversified investing. I know a lot of people that have followed that route very successfully. Their achievement, what has long been described as the American dream, should be something to be proud of. But apparently that is not the case in the United States today. At least not according to an Associated Press news article that was published in the Rapid City Journal on December 19th, 2013. The headline was pretty straightforward. It said, "Rising riches, 1 in 5 in U.S. reaches affluence." Now, the article's basic information was that 20% of Americans will have household incomes of $250,000 or more at some point in their life. Now, that includes somebody that has that high income for only 1 year, and certainly maybe just a few years. Now, remember that income is not necessarily earned income. It can also be from capital gains. It can be from IRAs, distributions. A number of things can boost income very high. And during those periods of affluence, that person is in the top 2% of earners. Now, beyond that, this news article, it wasn't a column, it wasn't an editorial piece, it was a news article, was filled with inaccuracies and assumptions. First, its writers confused affluence and wealth. Someone with a high income in a given year is affluent. Anyone with a basic grasp of finance, however, understands that wealth is associated with net worth, not income. Now, when only 2% of Americans have a net worth of $1 million or more, 20% can't be accurately described as wealthy. Some high-income earners are two-income couples or professionals at the peak of their career, or they salespeople who had a really great year. For others, affluence is a one-time deal. Consider this example. Let's say you have a couple in their 50s that have always earned around $40,000, and let's adjust that for inflation. The husband inherits a $250,000 IRA from his folks. They decide to distribute the money out of the IRA, pay the income taxes on it, and use the balance to pay off their mortgage. Now, for that 1 year only, their income exceeds $250,000. That is not enough to label them the new rich, as this article does. The article continues by noting that these new rich tend to be much more fiscally conservative than other Americans and less likely to support public programs such as food stamps or early public education to help the disadvantaged. This makes anyone who ever receives over $250,000 in any one year look like Ebenezer Scrooge before he was transformed. But the information is true. Ask anyone, no matter how liberal they are, who's ever received a windfall. Say they received it in 2013 and watched 25 to 50% of it disappear to federal and state income taxes. Ask them whether they're happy about that income redistribution. The AP also notes the number of people reporting income of over $250,000 has doubled since 1979, leaving the impression that the rich are getting richer while the poor are getting poorer. Now, while this is technically correct, those reporting over $250,000 have doubled since then. The figures are meaningless. Why? because they're not adjusted for inflation. Inflation has also at least doubled since 1979. The article also quotes Paul F. Nunes of Accenture's Institute for High Performance and Research in support of its contention that those who are newly or temporarily affluent aren't spending enough. It says their capacity to spend will be more important to the U.S. to the U.S.'s economic recovery. Instead, the article says, they spend just 60% of their before-tax income, often setting the rest aside for retirement or investing. OMG! In other words, these successful Americans are doing exactly what the American dream says they should do. They're taking care of themselves and planning for the future by working to build their short-term affluence into lasting wealth and financial independence. For this, they should be applauded. It would be more helpful to our country economically and socially to see them as role models rather than part of the problem. Instead of trying to bring successful people down, we would achieve so much more by using their example to lift others up. Thanks for joining me.